Success is the steady progress toward your own personal goals. Goals designed by you with a plan implemented by you. Your goals, your philosophy, your plan. So if success is the steady progress toward your own personal goals, what then is failure? Is failure working on a project that ended with poor results? No, of course not. Is failure launching a new product that failed miserably in the marketplace? No, of course not. Is failure doing the best you possibly can with your kids and having them disappoint you in a very personal way? No, of course not. There's no failure in pouring your heart and soul and energy into something that didn't work. Rather, failure is not trying at all. If success is the steady progress toward your own personal goals, then failure is no progress at all. None. Not even trying. Success and failure are always linked together. Success and failure are always linked to ambition. And let's remember, success is doing, failure is not doing. It's that simple. Tom Peters, world-renowned author and management expert, said recently, "There is only one way to be in serious trouble today, and that is not to be trying, not to be failing, not to be stretching yourself. Success is a doing. You've got to actually do it. Activity is high priority in the life process to try and get maximum benefit out of what we have available. Our resources, our skills, our knowledge, and our talents. Success is a doing that tries to get maximum benefit out of what we have available." Benjamin Disraeli, former Prime Minister of England, once said, "Nothing can resist a human will that will stake even its existence on its purpose." I'll do it or die. What a powerful set of words. We've already talked about resolve, doing it until, but here's what else resolve says. Resolve says, "I will." Two of the most powerful words in our language. The formula for disaster: could, should, don't. Here's the formula for fortune: could, should, will. Could, should, will. I will, I should, I can, and I will. Two of the most powerful words in the language. I will. The man says, "I will climb the mountain." They say it's too high, it's too difficult, it's too rocky, it's never been done before. The man says, "Hey, it's my mountain, I'll climb it. Pretty soon you'll see me waving from the top, or dead on the side, because I'm not coming back until I've done it." Powerful. There are several studies that show the greatest achievers aren't those who fail the least. No, the greatest achievers are those least frightened of failure. They're willing to take on the challenge without the guarantee of success, seeing the end but not sure when it will be or where it will be. Although success and failure go hand in hand, many people have a problem with failure. They think it's a bad word, has a bad connotation. They don't see it as a stepping stone. They see it as an end result. Quite often, success requires failure, sometimes many failures. In every scientific discovery, there were dozens or hundreds of failures before one success. Without failure, opportunity cannot be created. Without failure, there can be no success. But what is the measure of success? How do you know if you're successful, really successful? How do you know, especially when your success could be so vastly different from someone else's success? Here's how you measure. Results. Making measurable progress in reasonable time. That's all life asks. Making measurable progress in reasonable time. So you've got to be reasonable with time. Don't be unreasonable with time, parents. Don't be unreasonable with time, managers, brokers, business associates. Have a little patience. You can't ask somebody every 5 minutes, "How are you doing now?" That's too soon. The guy says, "I haven't left the building yet. Give me a break." So 5 minutes is too soon to ask. So 5 years is what? Too long and too late. So what is reasonable time to ask for results as a measure of progress? Here's number one: at the end of the day. You can't let more than a day go by without getting some things done, some letters written, having a conversation with your son or daughter. You can't postpone the important more than a day. When you work on the job, there are some things you've got to get done within a day. You've got to make some calls within a day. Your health disciplines, you've got to get those done within a day. You can't carry over. You can't say, "Well, I'll eat 9 apples 10 days from now." No, it's an apple a day. A day. Some things you've got to get done within a day. So at 5 minutes to midnight and you haven't gotten your apple in yet, munch away and get it done. A day. Here's what's next. A week. Some things you've got to get done within a week. Stuff on the job, calls made, activities. A week is a good chunk of time. Can't let more than a week go by without taking a look and a measure to see how you're doing. John joins this little sales company. He's supposed to make 10 calls the first week, just to get acquainted out there in the marketplace. Would it be legitimate to call John in on Friday and say what? "How many calls did you make?" That's legitimate. It's legitimate time to ask for a measurable amount of progress. He's supposed to make 10 calls. Come Friday, how many calls did you make? John says, "Well," you say, "John, well won't fit in my little box here. I just need a number." Now John starts with a story. You say, "John, the reason I made this little box so small is so a story won't fit." I don't need a story. I just need a number. Now here's one of the better phrases to take home. The numbers tell us the whole story. On you personally, the numbers tell us the whole story. Success is a numbers game. There are 3 important questions to ask yourself in this area. Here's number 1. How much money have you saved and invested during your career? Second question. In the last 90 days, how many books have you read? To invest in the miracle of your mind, give you ideas to ponder, fashion your future with meticulous care. How many books have you read in the last 90 days? Third question. In the last 6 months, how many classes have you taken to improve your skills or to develop new skills for your future and your family? How many classes in the last 6 months? I'm telling you, numbers tell us everything. Success is a numbers game. You've got to make progress. You've got to make progress in reasonable time. You've got to take a look at the numbers and see how you're doing. It's the name of the game. How often should you weigh the new baby? Well, you say, "I'll weigh the new baby next spring." No, you can't wait until next spring. Don't you have to weigh the new baby often? And the answer is yes, of course. To see what? To see whether it's gaining weight or it's losing weight. What if it's losing weight? The alarm bells have got to go off. You can't let a little baby lose weight very long. It's called disaster. These numbers are important. How often should you check the corporation to see if it's healthy or not? You say, "Well, in a couple of years, we'll get all the accountants together." No, you'll be out of business. In Las Vegas, the big gambling houses, guess how often they put together a financial statement to see where they are? Several times a day. Why? So much is happening. If you don't learn when to shut down some of those tables, you'll be out of business by midnight. You can't wait till midnight. You can't wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow's too late. You've got to know the numbers. What is your cholesterol count? You don't know and you don't care? You've just got your fingers crossed for the future? We'd better come and get your family and take them to safety. Come on, Be responsible for the set of your own sail. Leave it to no one else but yourself, and learn to refine these numbers for yourself. How many pounds overweight should you be at age 50? John says, well, I've got big bones. Well, we'll give you 10 pounds for big bones, but hey, 25, 30 pounds, and we've got to turn on the caution light at home and at the office. Somebody says, what's that flashing caution light? John's up about 20, 25 pounds. 35, 40 pounds, and the flashing red light comes on at home and at the office. Somebody says, what's that flashing red light? John's up about 40 pounds. 50 pounds, and the siren goes off. Somebody says, what's that siren? John's over 50 pounds. I'm asking you to take charge of your own life. Be responsible for your own life. Be responsible for your own retirement. Be responsible for your own health. Don't just drift along with the crowd. Those who don't care to be responsible about the numbers, meticulous about the numbers. Some of these numbers have got to be coming down, like your cholesterol. Some of these numbers have got to be going up, like the number of books in your library. Don't be satisfied until you've looked at all your own numbers, and be responsible. Don't wait for somebody to come along. What if nobody comes along? You've got to be responsible yourself. Results are the name of the game. Let's check the numbers. Don't be satisfied with anything less than the best of numbers. Jesus walked along one day and saw a fig tree. Interesting story. And as Jesus looked suspiciously at this fig tree, he said to his disciples, "Does that fig tree have any figs?" Do you think that's an important question? I'm telling you, for a fig tree, it's an all-important question. Does it have any figs? His disciples said, "No, sir. Of all the trees you were to pick, this particular fig tree does not have any figs." The story says Jesus lost his cool. One of the few times he lost his cool. Why? I think to make a point. A fig tree without figs? It is unacceptable. Jesus said, if that fig tree doesn't have any figs, I suggest you promptly take it out. And he added, why let it take up the ground? So you've got to get all your people together every once in a while and say, today we're counting the figs. What for? To see who gets to stay. Why? It's the name of the game. Results. Now, what if your results are not that good right now? What if you're going through some tough times and aren't quite sure what to do next? You know why I do seminars and lectures and write books and audio programs? So I can attend them all myself, read it again myself, listen again myself. I don't do it just to hear myself talk, and I don't do it for the money. I do it because the teacher always receives the greatest lessons he seeks to teach others. What's the best way out of a blue mood? Talk somebody else through theirs. What's the best way out of a mental energy slump? Talk somebody else through theirs. What's the best way to start solving your own problems? Talk to somebody else about theirs. Why? Because when you start talking someone else through their blue mood or their mental slump or their problem, you'll hear yourself say amazing things. You'll hear all the knowledge that you've gathered come out to help this other person. And it will ultimately help you by hearing it again. It just works that way. It's often easier to tap our resources for somebody else than it is to tap them for ourselves. Sometimes defeat is the best beginning. Why? Well, for one, if you're at the very bottom, there's only one way to go: up. But more importantly, if you're flat on your back mentally and financially, you'll usually become sufficiently disgusted to reach way down deep inside yourself and pull out miracles. Pull out talents and pull out abilities and pull out desires and determination. When you're flat broke or flat miserable, you'll eventually become so disgusted that you'll pull out the basic essentials required to make everything better. And it's in the face of adversity that things begin to change, that you begin to change. With enough disgust, desire, and determination to change your life, you'll start saying, "I've had it. Enough of this. No more. Never again." Here's where the miracle begins. I've had it. Enough. No more. Never again. These words and these thoughts really rattle the power of time and fate and circumstances. And these three things, time and fate and circumstances, all get together and say, okay. We can see that we have no power here. We're facing some major resolve. This guy's not going to give up. He's had it. He's done with all this nonsense. We better step aside and let this guy get by. Resolve. Inspiration through disgust. But a lot of people don't change themselves. They wait for change. Circumstances to change, the government to change, life to change. What'll that do? Not much. These poor unfortunate folks accept their defeats and wallow in their self-pity. Why? Because they refuse to take control of the situation. They refuse to take control of their life, their career, their health, their relationships, their finances. They refuse to take control and take responsibility and get sufficiently disgusted to change it. But if you are disgusted, if you are making changes, if this program finds you in the middle of your own personal slump, then I have some words to offer you. Your present failure is a temporary condition. It is only a temporary condition. You will rebound from failure just as surely as you gravitated into failure. Somebody once suggested to me in a bout of failure that I should tell myself that this too shall pass. I firmly believe that you're only given as much as you can handle, as much negativity, as much failure, as much disappointment. This too shall pass if you grasp for a new beginning, if you pull yourself up and move back into the world with a plan. So as foolish as it might sound, be thankful for your current limitations or failures, for they are building blocks from which to create greatness. You can go where you want to go. You can do what you want to do. You can become what you want to become. You can do it all, starting now, starting right where you are. A father talks about his daughter. She's gone through some pretty tough times. And as he tells it, she's a pretty tough person. He has a unique way of describing his daughter's situation, though. While most parents would be frantic, even of their kids who are grown and gone, this man just smiles and says that his daughter is like a frog in a jar of cream. She keeps kicking and kicking and kicking, and pretty soon the milk will turn into a lump of butter, and she'll be able to jump out. That's an interesting way to look at it, an interesting illustration of tenacity. But that's how it works. You've got to keep trying and trying and trying. You've got to have enough resolve to do it until. So be grateful for adversity. But for your future, make it work for you, not against you. Make your failures give birth to great opportunity, not prolonged agony. Make your disgust lead to inspiration, not depression. The world will willingly sit by and let you wallow in your sorrows until you die broke and alone. And here's what else the world will do. The world will step aside and let you by. Once you decide that your present situation is only temporary. Once you decide to get back on your feet and make your mark. The world doesn't care which choice you make, to stop here or to go on. The world doesn't really care. So you have to. You have to care. In your own enlightened self-interest, give a run at adventure. Keep your eyes firmly on the achievement, on your ambition, and not merely existence and self-pity. Make a commitment to excellence. And remember, it is your challenge, your own personal challenge, to use all your gifts and skills and talents and knowledge to succeed. Now here's another thought for you. It's a big thought. It's a thought that can make all the difference in the world, and here it is. Success is something you attract by the person you become. Once I understood that, I changed my whole method of operation. Success is something you attract by the person you become. Success is not something you pursue. What you pursue usually eludes you like a butterfly, something you go after that you can't catch. Success is something you attract like a magnet by the person you become. To attract attractive people, we've talked about this before. To attract attractive people, you must be attractive. To attract powerful people, you must be powerful. To attract committed people, you must be committed. Instead of going to work on them, you go to work on yourself. You work harder on yourself than you work on the job. And if you become, you can attract. The whole key is to make yourself valuable. The key is to make yourself attractive. The key is to make yourself skillful, competent, willing, powerful, unique, sophisticated, cultured, being able to manage, in control, healthy. The whole key really to the future is personal development. Because the greatest gift you can give to someone else is your personal development, self-development, self-investment. The greatest gift you can give is your own personal development. If I become 10 times wiser, 10 times stronger, 10 times brighter, 10 times more competent, think of what that will do for my success. If I grow, think of what that will do for my future. Self-development earns success. Self-investment earns respect. And the only way to make a better and better and better investment in your future is to become better and stronger and wiser and more competent. And the more attractive you become, the more attractive you are. And the more attractive you are, the more you attract success. Self-development, self-investment attracts success. That's powerful. Now here's what would be pitiful if your income grew and you didn't grow. Because here's what usually happens. If your income takes some jumps, it's best that you grow quickly up to where your income is. Why? Because otherwise your income will soon come back to where you are. Somebody once said, if someone hands you $1 million, best you become a millionaire so you get to keep the money. I'm telling you, success doesn't want to hang around an incompetent person. That's the problem with winning the lottery, the lack of self-development to be able to master it and keep it. And now the fortune is bigger than the person, rather than the person being bigger than the fortune. If you're a parent, use that as a challenge to grow personally. Use the challenge of parenting to grow. See what you can become. One ancient writer said this, here are some reassuring words. God's arm is not short. Aren't those reassuring words? God's arm is not short. You can't think of anything more pitiful than a God with a short arm. Poor God, his arm's too short. He can't reach all the way. Can't reach out to all of us. This writer said, no, be reassured. God's arm is not short. He can reach all the way, and he can reach everybody. Shouldn't that be said of every father, of every mother? They can reach all of their children. They can reach all the way. They don't lack stories and illustrations. They don't lack wisdom and power. And the only way you can become that kind of parent, the only way you can keep up that process, is by personal development, by becoming better than you are, stronger than you are, wiser than you are, becoming, growing, so that your investment grows. As your children grow, you grow. Your power grows, your influence grows, your wisdom grows, your command of the language grows. You see, that's what's challenging, to be involved in a situation that makes you grow. If that situation is success, keep growing to be bigger than your fortune. If that situation is failure, keep growing until you're bigger than the problem. Keep growing, keep becoming, keep doing it until. Now, there are two qualities that can increase your chances of success. Two very important qualities. Number one, patience. Number two, persistence. Let's talk about patience for a moment. Patience is what? Learning to handle the passing of time. Now, once you've had an appetite for success and you start going for it, now you've got to learn to handle the passing of time. Here's why. It takes time. It takes time to build a corporate work of art. It takes time to build a symphony orchestra with flawless music and harmony that sends you on flights of ecstasy, to be remembered long after the orchestra has shut down and the lights have gone out. It takes time to put harmony together. It takes time to build a life. It takes time to build an enterprise. It takes time to get through school. It takes time to develop and grow. So give your enterprise time. Give your business time. If you're in management, give your people time. If you're a parent, give your kids time. Don't be too short, too quick. Give them time. Now, not forever, but time. It takes time. Here's the ultimate challenge. You've got to have patience with yourself. It takes time to make changes in habit and discipline. It takes time to correct old errors in judgment and to finally give up old blame and pick up new responsibility. I'm telling you, it took me some time. I used to blame the government and blame taxes and blame the company and blame the marketplace. It took me a long time to give that up. That was a pretty comfortable list to explain my empty bank account, pennies in my pocket, nothing in the bank, not doing well, embarrassed by my situation. It took time to give that up and only blame myself. That took a while. So have patience with yourself, number one. And number two, while you're dealing with the passing of time, number two is to keep doing it. Be persistent. Be tenacious. Keep doing it until. As long as you are patient and persistent, it's hard to elude success. As long as you maintain patience and persistence, tenacity, there's only one person, just one person that will draw the line between success and failure. One person, and that person is you. So be patient. Be persistent. You need both patience and persistence together, and here's why. Lack of patience is probably the worst enemy of ambition. While your ambition keeps growing, keeps moving, keeps looking for new ways to succeed, impatience tends to grow frustrated. Impatience won't allow for persistence. Impatience wants to give up. Impatience calls discouragement failure. But your ambition won't let you give up so easily, not if you're persistent. What others may call failure, ambition calls a learning opportunity, a chance to make adjustments along the charted course to success. Ambition knows something else too. Ambition knows that the longer the achievement is in coming, the more valued it is. So let me give you a few aspects of patience, some examples that might help illustrate just how valuable it is. There are 6 aspects of patience, and here's number 1. Knowing when an opportunity is right and when more preparation is needed. Let's say you're opening up a restaurant specializing in fresh seafood. You're all excited to get going, get the money coming in instead of it all going out. You're all excited. So because you're all excited, you want to open early. Your impatience gets the best of you. And so you do, open before your scheduled grand opening. Customers start coming in. They're all excited about this new great restaurant. And everybody wants some fresh seafood. They're all ordering fresh seafood from the menu. But now you panic. You haven't got any. You're not ready. The fresh seafood shipment won't come in for a week. Impatience has just killed the restaurant. Now let's say you've got a great new product that's scheduled to come out on the market in the next several months. Everything's going according to plan, so you start planning your ads, start planning big public relations events. You're so sure that it's going to happen that you set a date. The engineers told you that the product's not ready, but you're sure it will be. You start planning everything, invite lots of people, influential people, buyers of your product. You're so excited that you went ahead without the product actually being done. Come the week of the grand unveiling, the engineers come to you and say it still doesn't work. Your impatience just lost you credibility in the marketplace. That's number one. Be patient in knowing the difference between when the opportunity is right and when more work needs to be done. Here's number two. Remain alert, even if opportunity doesn't come right away. Make sure that your patience allows you to keep your eyes open and ready for opportunity. Keep looking. Be patient. Number three, keep preparing for opportunities, even if there's a delay. Even if things aren't going just the way you think they should, keep your disappointments at bay and keep getting ready for opportunities. Be prepared. Always be prepared. Don't let impatience allow you to give up. Number four, impatience. Take the little setbacks in stride. Take the little successes in stride. Don't let small disappointments discourage you. Don't let the little successes delude you. Avoid the emotional roller coaster that will always disrupt your plan. Number five, if you're waiting on the decisions of others, be patient. You cannot control the decision-making abilities of others. You cannot control their timing. If your project was to come up before the board in one meeting and time ran out, and they moved your project to the top of the agenda for the next meeting, be patient. Don't be frustrated about what you have no control over. And number six, take a vacation from your ambition. If you've been working day after day, week after week, month after month without a break, take a vacation from your ambition. The patient person, secure in their ambition, knows that the drive and ambition will still be there, even after some time off. As a matter of fact, with some time off, the ambition will have a stronger pull than ever when you come back to it. Persistence is patience in action. Persistence is creative, always looking for new opportunities. Persistence is courageous. It doesn't give in to fear. Persistence is hopeful. It doesn't let discouragement through the door. Persistence is positive. It keeps you on track with your plans and your goals. And the last thing that persistence is cheerful, not gloomy, cheerful. Persistence knows that gloom and depression and disappointments waste energy. Cheerfulness creates it. Patience and persistence are both required for success. And as we end this side, please remember that success and failure are also intricately intertwined. For without failure, you can never appreciate success. And quite often, without failure, there will never be success. You are more than your ambition. These are undoubtedly some of the most valuable words in this program on the power of ambition. You are more than your ambition. You can't serve your ambition. No, your ambition must serve you. If you serve your ambition, you become less than your ambition. If you don't allow your ambition to serve you, your ambition won't have any resources to pull from, to grow, to maintain. It won't have a reservoir of strength and discipline and ingenuity and creativity. If you serve your ambition, it will be weakened. There will be nothing to revive it, replenish it. So how do you make sure that your ambition is serving you? Let's review the methods for building your ambition. The principles for building your ambition, the building blocks, the fundamental philosophies that we must continue to work on so our ambition will continue to serve us, work for us. Let's go through these one more time, because these building blocks help develop the foundation of good, strong ambition. Here they are. Principle number 1, positive self-direction. Positive self-direction says, I know who I am. I know where I want to go. I am working on my plan to get there. In positive self-direction, you accumulate knowledge and experiences and feelings and philosophies. You gather all that you can to help you decide where you want to go, how you want to get there, how to keep on track. Positive self-direction, that's number 1. The second principle in building your ambition is self-reliance. Taking responsibility for your own life. Taking full responsibility for whatever happens to you. Taking the credit or the blame for the result of yesterday's activities. Changing what's in your power to change. Being responsible. Working with others, yes, but doing all you can to bring the most value to the table, to the marketplace. Being self-reliant, responsible. Principle number 3 is self-discipline. Consistent self-discipline. This is one of the most powerful of the 6 principles, and the one that will undoubtedly prevent you from living with the pain of regret. An ounce of discipline weighs far less than a ton of regret. The pain of regret. A little every day, every day, every day, a little discipline every day will make all the difference in the world. It makes all the difference in your health. It makes all the difference in your wealth. It makes all the difference today. And this discipline, consistent self-discipline, practiced at the daily level, will make all the difference in your tomorrows. Here's number 4. The 4th principle for building your ambition is self-enterprise. To keep your eyes open and your mind active to recognize an opportunity and to grasp it. To consistently create opportunity. To be disciplined enough and prepared enough to take advantage of the opportunities around you. An enterprising attitude says, find out before action is taken. Do your homework, do the research. Be prepared, be resourceful. Do all you can in preparation of what will inevitably come to you. What you're preparing to come to you, self-enterprise. Number 5, working with others. The 5th principle of building your ambition is manifested by working with others. Being able to share the spotlight, keeping your ego in your back pocket, and giving others credit when credit is due. Caring enough about others to offer a kind word, a thoughtful gesture, a helping hand. It's like I said before, it's hard to find a rich hermit. The next time you say the Pledge of Allegiance, notice that it starts with the word I and ends with all. A country can't be built by one person. A company can't be built with one person. Family can't be built with one person. A friendship can't be built with one person. Each of us needs all of us to succeed. Each of us must learn to work with others to achieve our goals, to finish our tasks. Here's number 6. The 6th principle for building your ambition is self-appreciation. You must develop a strong appreciation for the conclusions that you have made, for the sail you have set, for the philosophies you have adopted, for your own methods, your own style, your own model of success. Remember here that success is the steady progress toward your own personal goals, and self-appreciation is crucial in keeping you moving toward those goals. So there you have a review of the 6 principles necessary to build your ambition. During our past sessions, we have also learned how to bring balance to our work and personal lives, to understand the rewards of ambition, that it's okay to be rich and wealthy, and to come to understand that success and failure are part of the same process. Through the consistent practice of everything we have covered in this series, you will begin to develop 3 cornerstones of the ambitious life: focused concentration, resilience, and integrity. Focused concentration, resilience, and integrity. By developing these traits, by incorporating them into your character deep within your very being, you will allow your ambition to serve you. You'll be able to direct your ambition to achieve even your wildest dreams. And you'll have the satisfaction of knowing you're on the right course. Together, these three cornerstones bring stability to your ambition. Stability, which is the most valuable asset in pursuit of achievement. We'll cover each of these, focused concentration, resilience, and integrity, in depth. But the key point here is that each of these cornerstones is cultivated only through the practice of the 6 principles of building your ambition. The 6 principles, worked on consistently and simultaneously, will develop these 3 traits in your character. Here's number 1, concentration. Focused concentration. We talked about this in time management, but the key to building your ambition, keeping on track with all of the principles, is focused concentration. You've just got to zero in. You've got to identify your target and let nothing stand in your way. You've got to keep your eye on the target until you've released the arrow. Let nothing capture your attention unless it's in the best interest of your ambition. Let not an obstacle come before you without getting around it, going over it, going under it, trying a different path until you get there. Concentration in sports is crucial. The consummate professional on the field or on the court won't hear the jeering of the crowd. Their concentration keeps all noise and clutter at bay. They have one thing in mind, and that's moving the ball. You have to have just one thing in mind, keeping on track, closing out all the noise and the clutter that gets in your way, going around all the obstacles of negativity and influence. In a tennis match, how long does it take for your opponent to return the ball? Not very long. And what if you lose your concentration? Game's over. One little slip of concentration, just that fast, one little slip of concentration. Your opponent puts the ball by your feet, and there goes the tennis match. In a major presentation, just lose your concentration for a flash of a second. And I'm telling you, you could lose it all. All the hard work, all the long hours, all the preparation, all the momentum building to that crucial presentation could be gone if you don't keep your concentration. If you don't watch your audience, if you don't keep your mind on what you're doing, if you don't keep focused on the task at hand, it could slip right on by you. Wherever you are, be there. Whatever you're supposed to be doing for the moment, do it. You can't be thinking of everything you have to do at one time, all the time. You have to concentrate on just one thing at a time, one project, one job. You have to take it one task at a time and complete it. Do what you've set out to do. Keep your mind only on that one task. Why? If you don't, you won't accomplish anything. Concentration takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of discipline to demand privacy, to keep the do not disturb sign on your door while you're in the middle of an important job. It takes a lot of discipline not to answer the phone every time it rings at home. That's why they make voicemail and answering machines, so you don't have to answer the phone every time it rings. Your family will appreciate an uninterrupted dinner hour. Your night work will get done a whole lot faster. Concentrate on the work at hand and demand of yourself the discipline to stay focused. If you have a long list of things to get done within a day, do the toughest ones while your concentration is at its peak. If you're a morning person, get the job done in the morning. Don't wait until the evening when your energy is all spent. No, do the jobs that need the most concentration when your body is best able to handle them. If you're a night person, save those tough jobs for the night, not in the morning when you've still got cobwebs in your brain. Learn your body's rhythms and do the jobs that need the most concentration when you're able to do them best. When you're at work, be at work. When you're in a conference, be in that conference. When you're at your kid's school play or soccer game or dance recital, be there. Don't let your mind wander. Stay focused. Stay focused on the task at hand or the company you're with. Don't let your mind wander during conversations. You never know what important points you'll miss. Stay focused. Stay true to where you are and what you're doing. Use your discipline to keep your mind in line. When you recognize the need to concentrate more, when you recognize this need, and when you discipline yourself to stay focused, it will come easier and easier. Focused concentration can be learned. Focused concentration can become a habit. If you work on it a little every day, the easier it comes, the less energy you'll waste on making your mind you. Number one cornerstone of an ambitious person: concentration. Focused concentration. Make your mind pay attention. Discipline yourself to be where you are. Work at work and play at play. Don't mix the two. Concentrate. Give your job the attention it deserves. Give your family the attention they deserve. Give your colleagues the attention they deserve. Wherever you are, be there. Concentrate. That's number one. Here's number two: resilience. Resilience, the ability to return to the original form after being bent or being stretched or being compressed. That's the dictionary's definition of resilience. The ability to readily recover from illness or depression or adversity. Resilience, being able to withstand setbacks, broken hearts and broken dreams, financial crisis, loss of loved ones, loss of enterprise, and loss of health. How would you ever handle it if you lost everything you had today? What would your next step be? How long would you be depressed and upset and angry? What would it take for you to pull yourself up and start all over again? How resilient are you? Could you handle it? Could you learn from all your disappointments and start all over again? What would it take? Well, number one, it would take a lot of self-discipline. It would take a lot of positive self-talk to muster up the energy to begin again. It would take a lot of concentration to block out the noise and the clutter of all the negative voices trying to get through, your negative voices and the negative voices of others around you. It would take a lot of discipline to balance the fear and anxiety with the knowing that if you did it once, you can do it all over again. It would also take what? A lot of self-reliance. Whether your losses had anything to do with you or not, your future success has everything to do with you. It would take a lot of self-reliance to avoid blame. What's happened has happened. You would need to get on with your life and begin again. It would take a lot of faith. It would take a lot of faith and trust in God to move ahead. If you lost everything tomorrow and were gathering all the courage to try again, it would take a lot of self-appreciation, knowing that you have the skills and the talent and the strength to do it one more time. Resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity, no matter how large or how small. You lose a client, one of your biggest ones, accounts for over 25% of your gross revenues. Losing this client is going to hurt financially and emotionally. Losing this client is going to negatively affect things for a while. The first thing you do is to figure out why you lost this business. What role did you play? What part are you responsible for? You just can't rant and rave around the office yelling and screaming at those around you. Even if it was the wrongdoing of someone else, you can't act like this. It's not professional. No, you'll lose respect. Respect that's hard to regain once you've lost it. Respect of those you work with, trusted colleagues, valuable support people. You have to approach the situation rationally and figure out how to bounce back from your loss. You have to evaluate the situation and then start a plan to recapture the lost business. Increase your market share with other businesses. Network with associates to bring in a similar client or a larger one. You can't sit back and dwell on what's happened. No, you've got to get back into the marketplace and recapture what's been taken from you. Get back at it and replace what's gone. Now maybe your loss is a personal loss. Death of a loved one, divorce, loss of a very special friendship. If your loss is a deeply personal one, you must approach the situation a little differently. You must be patient with yourself and give yourself time. Time to grieve, time to mourn, time to regroup. The stages we go through in loss, be it death of a loved one, death of a relationship, or death of an enterprise, the stages we go through are beautifully defined in Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's book, On Death and Dying. If the death is a literal one or a figurative one, the stages are the same. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And only by going through these stages and reaching acceptance can we rebound and begin again. It's said that children are often more resilient than adults. Why? Well, maybe it's because they don't evaluate their current situations based on past experiences. They approach it in a fresh way, a new way. And in their own minds, they deal with loss much better than adults. Children who grow up in the unfortunate circumstances of poverty or abuse or neglect, children who grow up in these conditions and become successful are known as dandelion children. Because if they can succeed and prosper with terrible conditions, they can grow anywhere. It's important to be more like a dandelion child, to be able to grow and prosper and succeed despite our current conditions, to be able to grow and prosper and succeed despite our losses, to be resilient. Cultivating a resilient character turns what others would call failure into success. A resilient person won't give up. A resilient person will, in spite of all obstacles and setbacks, keep doing it until. In their book, The Resilient Self, Stephen and Sybil Wolin have studied the characteristics of resilience and have found 7 key skills which comprise it. To build a resilient character, you must have, number 1, insight. The ability to ask tough questions of yourself and be honest with your answers. If you had something to do with your loss, be honest and responsible for it. Number 2, resilience is independent. A resilient person counts only on themselves to bounce back into life. Number 3, although resilience is independent, it's also tied to others. The more people you are responsible to, the greater the motivation to begin again. The stronger the reason, the stronger the action. The 4th component of resilience is initiative. The ability to take charge of the situation, the ability to take charge of the problem, the ability to stand up and do whatever is necessary to get back on course. A resilient person is, number 5, creative. Being able to look at the situation and creatively determine the best way out, to look for solutions, to be enterprising in your approach towards starting over. A resilient person has humor. Number 6, a sense of humor. They may cry till they start laughing, but a sense of humor is so important when turning your life around. You've got to take your ambitions seriously, and you've got to take yourself seriously, but you've also got to be able to laugh at yourself sometimes, your situation. Somebody says you'll look back on this and laugh someday. Well, maybe today is the day to start. A sense of humor, number 6. And here's the last one, morality. Whatever you do to get back on your feet, whatever you do to bounce back into life, make sure it's moral. Make sure that your upcoming success is at the service of others, not at the expense of others. I have made this point several times during this series, but only because it's so important. Success, if it is yours to keep, must be at the service of others. Number 1 cornerstone for an ambitious life is concentration. Number 2, resilience. And here's number 3, integrity. Integrity is adhering to the moral principles of life. Integrity is doing things with honor. Integrity is honesty. Without integrity, ambition loses its unifying focus that comes from integrated goals, from really knowing what you want. Integrity says, I wish to pay fair price for all value. Getting something for nothing makes nothing of me. Getting it cheap makes me cheap. Truly, in your own enlightened self-interest, this is one of the better statements. I wish to pay fair price for every value. I wish to pay fair price. This is self-interest, and it's also integrity. I wish to pay fair price for every value. Why? For what it will make of me. For what paying for it will make of me. If I have to pay, that will make something of me. And by paying, you have the integrity not to take advantage of others. You hear of greedy people boasting about the great deal they just got, the best value, how they negotiated the price down to nothing, how they nickel and dime the other person out of making a profit. Good integrity won't let you do that. We all shop for the greatest value at the best price, but not at the expense of others. Not when your great deal cheated someone out of their profit. You hire someone to do a job for you, take on a project. You've got to pay fair price, fair value for someone else to do the work for you, because if you don't, what? They'll never work for you again. They don't want to work long, hard hours to make you look good and not get compensated for it. No, and your integrity won't allow that to happen. Pay an honest price for an honest value. Make it good for everybody involved. Leave a profit. Don't be cheap, be fair. It's your integrity that's on the line, not just a few bucks. Your integrity. If I want something badly enough, I have to earn it. If I want something badly enough, I have to pay for it. Why? Because of what paying for it will make of me. And if I wish to have more, I must become more. I must earn more. And how much should you earn? As much as you possibly can. You must always strive to do all you possibly can. The essence of life is growth. Doing, becoming, striving, growing, achieving. Be like the tree that grows as high as it can. Be like the bird that soars as high as it can. Be like the flowers that bloom as much as they can. Whatever course you set your sail to, do as much as you can to get there. It's part of integrity. Honestly doing all you can in pursuit of what you want, in pursuit of what you'll become. And whatever you sign up for, finish it. Here's a great story about integrity. The Apostle Paul, this great man, said, I'm about to go, and here's the reputation I want when I'm gone. Here's what I want people to say about me. He said 3 things, and here's number 1. I fought a good fight. Let that be your reputation. You fought a good fight. You kept out the ideology that wanted to capture your children, threatened every enemy that ever threatened you, fought like a parent protecting children in the home front. Let that be your reputation. You fought a good fight, and whether or not you won, at least let your reputation be that you fought a good fight. Fought for your rights, fought for the game. You fought for your integrity. You fought for honesty. You fought for success. You didn't leave any energy unspent. You fought. The major key to have success of any kind, you've got to leave this reputation behind. I've fought a good fight. Wow. And here's the second thing Apostle Paul said. Number 2, I finished the task. I stayed until it was done. They gave me a task, and I finished it. I didn't leave it half done. I never walked off the court in the third quarter. I stayed. I finished it. What a good reputation. Finish it. Finish your assignment. Finish the project. Finish the contract. Finish it. Finish whatever you've signed up for. Then number 3, here's what he said. I kept the faith. Boy, that's important. Keep faith with your family. Keep faith with your church. Keep faith with your enterprise. The group I belong to, we pledge our faith, our unwavering confidence in each other. Each of us pledge that to all of us. And I wish for you to be in a group that has so much integrity. You want to be involved with people who pledge and keep your confidences. Allstate says you're in good hands. That should be the reputation of all of us. Develop the reputation of good hands so that no matter where you go, you will represent your family well, represent your company well, have integrity, honesty, success at the service of others, not at the expense of others. And at the end of the road, don't you want to be able to say, I fought a good fight, I finished the job, and I kept the faith? Of course you do. And that last part, keeping the faith, is not that easy. What is the master prayer? Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Help us keep integrity in spite of the evil, in spite of going through the valley of the shadow of darkness, that we will not fear that evil will dislodge us from our integrity. Keep the faith of the office. Keep the faith of the company. Keep the faith of the family, of your spouse and of your children. Keep the faith of the church. Keep the faith of the community. Wherever you go, represent your family well. Wherever you go, represent your group well. Wherever you go, represent your colleagues well. Let part of the bond of friendship be that wherever each of you are, each of you will represent all of you well. Wow, what a thing to be able to say. I fought a good fight, I finished the course, and I kept the faith. And here's how he wrapped it up. Apostle Paul said, I understand now there's a crown waiting for me, and I deserve it. Isn't that great to say? I hear they have a trophy for me, and guess what? I deserve it. What a magnificent story to leave behind. I fought a good fight, I finished the job, I kept the faith, and I deserve the crown. Unbelievable. Now others around you, others you associate with, may not have the ambition or the integrity to leave such a legacy behind. But guess what? Let other people lead small lives, but not you. In the challenge of building your ambition, and stepping up to the opportunity of giving someone else light and direction and refinement of thought and character, in all of this, let everybody else lead small lives, but not you. Let everybody else cry over small hurts, but not you. Let everybody else argue over non-essentials, but not you. Deal in things that matter, the larger challenge, the larger opportunity. Go for the challenge and the responsibility of being the absolute best you can, of doing your best, of creating your best, of being the best person, the best friend, the best spouse, the best parent, the best colleague. As you begin to understand and apply all of the principles in building your ambition, remember, ambition is an eager desire to achieve, to be successful at the service of others, not at the expense of others. An eager desire to get ahead in life, to do more for your family, to prosper in health and wealth and relationships. As you're building your ambition, inspiring and fueling your achievement, when you realize that you are more than your ambition, when you let your ambition serve you, you will develop greater concentration, greater resilience, greater integrity. These 3 aspects will inspire more ambition, Ambition that stems from the need to be true and to express your innermost self. And with focused concentration, resilience, and integrity in our character on our side working for us, we're constantly inspiring the ambitious part of our nature to reach to greater and greater heights. One of the most challenging experiences in life is seeing what you can do to help someone else. And one of the greatest thrills in life is being able to invest life into life. You've given me that opportunity in this program on the power of ambition, and I want to thank you for that. I've invested a bit of my life into your life, and I consider it time worth taking. I want to thank you for this chance and this opportunity. I wish for you the ultimate understanding of your own power. I wish for you heightened ambition. I wish for you achievement. I wish for you influence. I wish for you treasures of the soul and of the spirit and of the mind and of the wallet. And hopefully, what I have shared with you has given you extra perception in sharpening your skills and making your life unique. Let your ambition serve you. Let your ambition lead you to greatness. Let your ambition allow you to go and touch somebody else.